Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video. I'm going to be talking about some newly shown Marvel Legends figures, and these are the very first Marvel Legends figures from the new Spider-Man No Way Home movie, one of the most anticipated Marvel movies. It's probably the most anticipated one this year, and probably from a lot of years, because this is a very exciting movie, rumors galore from it. It looks like they're doing some very big things, which is exciting. So, very excited to see the first figures. Unfortunately, none of the characters that we're all interested in, of course, but nonetheless, some cool figures to be shown, and our first look at the new costumes of Spider-Man from the film, which is cool too. So let's get into it. We've got 4 figures here. I don't think that they've officially announced if these are from a specific wave or if they're individual figures. From what it's rumored, it seems like it is from a specific wave, and the wave will include these 4 plus 3 more in-package figures, unclear on comic or movie, and then a Build-A-Figure, and again, unclear on comic or movie. So, talking about the ones that we have here. And here we have Strange. So, of course, this isn't our first Marvel Legends Doctor Strange, but this is an update. It looks like quite a good update. A new head sculpt, I think a pretty solid head sculpt. I'm trying to think when's the last time we had a figure. I mean, obviously the Doctor Strange movie had a Doctor Strange figure, and then I believe for Infinity War, they did a 3-pack for the line of the MCU kind of 10th anniversary, which had Doctor Strange, but I think that that's mainly a repaint, like different accessory or something, but mainly a repaint. So this might be kind of our second, like, big difference type figure, because this figure is very different from the original, but overall it looks very cool. As you can see, he does come with those effect pieces showcasing his power. He has the Eye of Agamotto, which is interesting as well, just to see that he's wearing the Eye of Agamotto, as kind of the power that's from it is the Time Stone, which is no longer in it. So it's interesting that he actually does still wear this in the new film. I think that's kind of neat. The cape is very cool. I love the texturing in the cape. As you can see, even the inside portion of the cape has fantastic texture. And overall, just a very nice looking figure. A good update for Doctor Strange. If you have the original, I don't think there's anything here that you've just got to get, but it's a nice update. So as long as you're okay with kind of updating the figures, then this is a good one for you. Again, though, if you don't have any interest in the Build-A-Figure and you have the original Doctor Strange, that's a great figure on its own as well, so that would probably suffice. But this is still a nice update. Here's the figure that I'm most excited for, Jonah Jameson. I'm very excited to see him. I'm a big J.K. Simmons fan, and his performance as JJ is just fantastic. So to get a movie figure version of him is very cool. As you can see, he's got an angry head sculpt. Although it's not in these pictures, they did show another head sculpt for him. So he'll have a calm head sculpt, just kind of like a regular kind of stern head sculpt, and then he'll have this one, that yelling head sculpt. I think the likeness is pretty solid, especially for one with a mouth open. Typically that can look a little goofy, just like their Odin figure that they did recently. It just looks goofy and bad. With this one here, though, I think it actually looks pretty strong. So overall, liking the head sculpt quite a bit. Figure-wise, pretty standard figure. Your standard kind of suited body. A different kind of color than we've usually seen from the suited bodies, though, so that's a little different. His undershirt, that might be new, because I think a lot of the suited figures have sculpted undershirts with a tie. This one does not, obviously. This one's just kind of more of a collared shirt, little unbuttoned with no tie. So it could be a new sculpt as far as that, like, kind of upper torso piece, but I'm not 100% sure. There's probably a good chance that they've taken that from someone else. There's a little closer image of that head sculpt. Overall, very good. I like the fact that he's got a pointing hand. I think that's nice. Well, I'll be interested to see if there's any other accessories, open hand with a newspaper or something. Obviously, now he is more in the blog kind of side, so maybe the newspaper wouldn't make sense anymore. But overall, I think that he looks nice. Maybe a phone. That would be cool. Happy Hogan, I think, comes with a phone, so they could just repurpose that accessory. And then we have the integrated Spider-Man suit. This is kind of his new suit. Overall, the 2 Spider-Man suits that they've shown, I'm not a big fan of either, to be honest. I think that they look a little odd. You know, I'm just getting used to the red and black look. So then to add gold to it, it just makes it look like it's a mix between the Iron Spider-Man suit and the upgraded suit, the black and red one. So it just looks a little weird to me. I'm not a fan of having gold on Spider-Man, to be honest. I really just don't like it. Now, I can see why maybe they'd want him to have a suit that's a little different and not red and blue, so that he can kind of stand out from other characters that may or may not be in the movie. But I'm just not a fan of this design. So I understand maybe the purpose for it, but I feel like you could do something that pays a little bit more homage to our classic Spider-Man, but have it be very different, rather than just doing like a regular Spider-Man and just giving him black and gold. I think that's a little odd. But yeah, here you go. The figure himself looks nice. It's, your standard kind of Spider-Man figure, sculpted well. It's kind of boring, to be honest, just because there's not a whole lot new with it. Obviously, I believe that it's a completely new sculpt, or at least the torso definitely is, with the way that they have the gold pieces are actually sculpted, and they have a unique look, so that's of course new. But overall, it's your standard, just Spider-Man, not even an unmasked head, no interesting web accessories. When they do so many versions of the same character, I want them to try to spice it up when it comes to at least accessories, because you can always do something different with accessories. So it's a little boring when you get the same figure with the same hands and the same style head sculpt, so I'd like to see them do a little bit better when it comes to the actual accessories with these figures, instead of just having them do kind of the bare minimum each time. Here we have the black and gold one. Again, I'm not a fan of gold on Spider-Man, because this one looks like a mix between the Spider Monkey and the red and black one, so they look like mixes of weird suits. It looks almost like a concept series like type thing that a toy line would do, rather than it being like an actual suit in the movie. But as you can see, it's a very standard Spider-Man suit, but the webbing is gold. And then I think it would have been a little bit even better if there wasn't red, like maybe just black and gold kind of be interesting, but having the red in there and just on the forearms and hands, that's really strange. I'm just not a fan of it. And again, same thing, same lacking of any sort of head sculpt or interesting hands or web accessories or anything like that. So overall, there's my thoughts on the newly shown and the first shown Marvel Legends figures from Spider-Man No Way Home. With the amount of rumors as well as confirmed characters in this movie, I hope to see a rather large Marvel Legends line from them. And with kind of the secrecy about most of them, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes us to finally get them. But overall, I think that this looks like a cool wave. If I had to do a little bit of guessing as far as what the other figures in the wave could be, or the Build-A-Figure, anything like that, if you have managed to just completely stay out of the loop and don't know anything about the new Spider-Man movie, then and you don't want any possible characters spoiled for you, obviously turn away now. But I'm sure everyone has heard, obviously, the big rumor is that it would be incorporating other characters from the Spider-Man movies from the other series, so the Raimi and the web series, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So obviously, if the rest of this wave is movie, and those two are actually in the movie, would love to see them in the wave, of course. Also, there's a lot of returning villains. Vulture and Mysterio, we have figures of, so we're good there. But as far as the other kind of confirmed villains that are going to be joining, Dr. Octopus and Electro, those two, both the actors have confirmed that they're in the movie. So Dr. Octopus would be a good Build-A-Figure with the mechanical arms. I think that he would warrant being a Build-A-Figure. It would be cool if he was, like just a single pack. That would be nice. And they've done a single pack with the comic Dr. Octopus before, but it would be really nice if they went all out on the arms, the mechanical arms, and made them very well articulated, and then had him as the Build-A-Figure. That would be very cool. So that would be neat in general. I'd love to get Dr. Octopus. Electro would be cool too, just in general as a figure. And then of the not confirmed but very likely is William Defoe's Green Goblin. He, although is again not confirmed it, he's been seen on set, as well as just a couple days ago he was asked in an interview about upcoming projects, and he just said, "I'd like to just let those come out when they're ready." So it's I'm taking it as it's confirmed. There's no way he's not in it. So getting Green Goblin would be very cool too. There's been rumors about Rhino. Having him as a Build-A-Figure would be awesome too. So there's just a whole lot. I'm assuming that this movie will get 2 waves. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if this wave actually had comic figures in it, and then they do a second wave of only movie figures, a whole movie wave, where they can do some of the more spoilerish ones that maybe they're waiting for a trailer to come out, or actually have the full movie come out. That would be very nice too. The only thing that makes me think that maybe this is a full movie wave is the fact that they didn't just show the wave. Sometimes they do a figure or two before they show a wave, but to do 4 figures, like the majority of the wave up front, and not show the others, that makes me think that they might be holding off because there are movie figures and maybe there's a character or two that they're not ready to show yet. Overall, though, I'm very excited for this wave, mainly for JJ. Doctor Strange is a good update, and then the Spider-Man figures, to be honest, I personally don't have interest in. I have other Spider-Man figures and a lot of other Spider-Man figures of costumes that I actually like. Not a fan of these costumes. Who knows, maybe seeing them in action in the movie I'll enjoy them a little bit more, but just not a fan of the design at all for those. Figure-wise, they look good, though. The only complaint figure-wise is the lack of any sort of unique accessories. But there you go, that's my thoughts on these 4 new Marvel Legends figures shown from Spider-Man No Way Home. Let me know what you guys think of the figures shown, as well as what you think are some of the other possible Marvel Legends figures they can do from the movie. And thanks so much for watching.